Welcome to a very special video, everybody. Today I wanted to talk about something I think that's affecting a great number of channels, including a few I know. Some of my hobby-related stuff has to be re-edited due to some filming issues, so I'm sorry to everyone that was looking forward to those. Thus, with that not in hand, I wanted to talk about YouTube and what I see as a problem on the platform. What is this problem? Simple. It is the fact that YouTube is what I can safely call a feast or famine style platform. You're either riding high or you're in the ditch face down. Over the last year, I'm sure you've heard any number of channels talking about the issues of views, lack of subs, among many other matters going on. And I would say this comes down to one larger issue, at least in my mind, amongst a couple others along that I think align with that. That issue is that YouTube is effectively run by people who want desperately to be the new TV, not YouTube. We've seen the efforts to turn it into such a thing several times over the years, along with a gross misunderstanding of what draws people to the platform and, of course, the various channels on it. In short, YouTube is a personality-led site. It has any number of channel types, and folks are attached to the personalities that head those individual channels. The content can take sudden changes or remain consistent, depending on who runs the channel and what the viewers are favor for the most part. To a degree, I've seen channels flame out due to an audience that particularly prefers certain types of content, and this can often box creators in, but that's not necessarily good or a bad thing depending on your view. Regardless, YouTube has had many phases and they will face many more if it remains a main platform for content creation. My channel is small, but despite that, for nearly 2 years, it ran above expectations, having average viewerships larger than my sub count. No bragging, but I know I was in two niches and I worked hard to provide content for those. In the last couple months, the channel has dropped from 2,000 to 3,000 views to just about 800, and for a while it was sitting at almost under 700. And it has gone from 8 to 140 hours of view time. Effectively, we've dropped to 80 for the most part, when I was sitting at generally 100 plus. Again, not to pity myself, I've seen this with other channels, and I know, and even larger ones like Bowtime Gaming, a fellow Texan. I've mentioned him several times before. In fact, I'll put up an analytics bit he did to show things haven't been exactly bright even for larger channels. Now, to this, I was putting on a roughly 100 and 180 subs a year till everything stopped effectively 2 months ago. You can see my viewership just crash right after the Year of Chaos video. How do you fix this? It's hard to answer this without back-end information, but I have a few suggestions that I'd like your opinions on, and if YouTube wishes, they can steal with my blessings. First of all, return to showing more smaller to mid-sized channels in the suggestions. The way they had it where it was showing off channels was being effectively a more positive situation. It was helping people from little to mid-size, and I believe it even helped larger channels. YouTube needs more mid-tier channels to help create a more stable of creators. A little pun there. Large channels are great, but this is a personality-driven site, so having more up and coming creators is a good thing. You need to have a larger variety of viable channels for a number of reasons, which I will get into. So once you return to promoting more small to mid-tier channels, how do you go about, from a business perspective, keeping the bills paid? First, I'd open up the memberships to all channels. You'd have to, of course, have some kind of verification. This is just a normal thing. But I'd have it open up to all channels, no matter the subscriber base, with a revenue sharing of 50-50. This can be changed at different sub counts, say 70 to the creator and 30 to YouTube once the channel is over 1,000 subs, to help encourage people to keep creating content while still seeing money coming into the coffers of the company. Remember, YouTube needs to have itself to be profitable to keep the servers on. Now, why that? My thinking on this is that it encourages smaller channels and even mid-sized channels to keep making content and decreases the dead weight. This isn't an insult, but tiny channels cost money to store their videos, and it's senseless to not allow them to have memberships. They'll simply go off site while costing YouTube money and deny them a dime. And by that, I mean going to things like Subscribestar, Patreon, Coffee, other crowd kind of funding sites, which YouTube has completely squandered their efforts on. Further, this would help channels of all sizes, as ad revenue is inconsistent with rather poor payouts for creators lacking larger viewerships. Even those with larger viewerships, it can be unreliable and create a great deal of strain, especially if you count on that money. Thus, a larger focus on channel memberships for big or small is more consistent and increases the potential revenue stream coming in. Remember, they might not have a lot of subs, they might not have a lot of members, but having some money come in is better than no money coming in. Ads would take a different form if my suggestions were taken. Most folks hate TV style ads and have left that platform, TV, for things such as YouTube years ago. Banner ads should return, either placed on the side of a video or at the bottom. If the video requirement is still there to have an ad, YouTube should place strict guidelines upon such for them to be allowed to air at the front and back of videos. Now, I know there are there's arguments for mid-rolls, but for the moment, let's just try to look at it as getting your viewers a reason to still allow that to play, as opposed to skipping them. As such, I would suggest a limit of ads to a pithy 5 to 10 seconds at most, and you need to have them be less trouble to allow to play than to block or skip. Remember, we need people to watch them if you're going to have them. So making it more trouble than it is to do those other things, less trouble than to do those other things, is a positive. No stupid storylines, no preaching, just our product is X, it's great, buy it. Then the video begins. In fact, if a company desired a longer ad, upper limit 15 to 20 seconds, have it be at triple the rate and have the required payment up front. Use your position as a leading platform for viewers to your advantage for once. If they don't like it, they don't have to be on YouTube ads. And hey, you can have a main channel that goes, hey, these people won't follow our guidelines. These are the reasons these are not advertised here. Make your own choice from there. Use your bully pulpit, for God's sake, as opposed to crushing your viewers or your sites and channels, for example. Overall, YouTube needs to shift its focus from being new TV to being YouTube. Focus on its creators, giving them every chance to grow and increase its potential revenue streams. Least another Patreon, Subscribestar, or Ko-fi appear to eat off YouTube's plate yet again. Make part of YouTube's services do what those sites do so that people have less reason to go to them, therefore increasing the potential for the site to become stable and have a consistent revenue stream and become even more attractive for people to put their time and content on there and have it be a way to make passive income and not be so reliant on ads, and then use what you can to bully those companies into following your guidelines. So, what do you think? Am I a fool? If you like what I do, I'd encourage you to sub. And if you hate my guts, well, be a professional hater and sub full time so you can be there for every video. Of course, thanks for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.